one of the things inside NLP, as I navigate these steps, one of the things inside NLP is we can break things down into small enough steps. It's not stressful at all. Beautiful spot here. Mount Tamborine, just out inland from the Gold Coast. There's a couple of really good questions that we can ask ourselves when we're in stress. If you're in overwhelm, there are things we can talk about. And some of those things are, what are the beliefs behind that? For you to be in overwhelm, you've overloaded yourself with too many tasks. Are they all important? Some of them may be. Are they stressing you out because there's a belief you're going to let down a client? And if you let down a client, you can't feed your family. That's all understandable. But at no point have you sort of stepped back and looked at the whole model of the business. Look at the whole model of, how's this thing actually work? If I'm loading myself up and stressing myself out at a crazy level, maybe I've got to look at working on my business and not work in my business. Because if you're stressed, you're probably getting yourself to a point where the business model is not working, if this is happening every day of the week. Now, there's also capacity. What's your natural capacity for stress? What is the meaning you're putting behind things in stress? What's it mean to you? There's certain standards that high-performing people certainly always try and uphold. And those standards are very important to them. And so this is where we start talking about things like values. Values are really important because something's important to you. So there's a belief, I might leap down my client, might not pay the bills. There is as I'm just looking at this mud here. and as I look at this, I'm thinking, well, what are the beliefs? What are the values of the person? And what are the identity, or there might be a quality inside their identity that we can use to help make them more resourceful. And look at the situation a little bit differently. So think about your stress, your anxiety, what's going on. It's because you think something's going to be lost. You think something's going to be missed out on. You think that something's going to disappear. And so if we can look at things differently, where things are not going to disappear, where you can actually come up with a plan, but you got to know what it is that you're chasing. There's some emotion that you're chasing. It's probably very old, from the past, and that emotion that you're chasing is something that could really be used to tap into a different business. Really used to tap into a new way of looking at this whole problem of stress and overwhelm. So there's the big picture, but then there's the micro skills. People who handle the stress, no problem, they've built up an internal mental skill set. And that's what you can build up. You can build up an internal mental skill set. You can use the pictures in your mind, you can use the feelings in your body, you can use the reality stuff, the things that really are important. And you can use those and control those feelings. At the end of the day, if the results are going pear-shaped, you've got every right to be feeling stressed. Birds overhead. And so let's manage it. Let's firstly manage the pictures in our mind. Let's get our brain back in the room. And then you can work through the problem. One of the ways you can work through the problem is a process called a well-formed outcome. But first we have to form the outcome. You have to form the outcome well. And if you're under stress and you're just going through a loop, it's because there is no outcome. You're just trying to manage the stress, but you haven't well formed your end destination and wondering why you're lost. Something that is definitely food for thought. So bear that in mind. If you're feeling lost, if you're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, let's work through those triggers. Let's work through your well-formed outcome And we'll get to the end of it, and by the time you've finished working with me, you will know who you are. You'll know how to handle it. Talk to you next time at Tait Fork in the Road YouTube channel. Talk to you next time.